Hello and welcome to another episode of me learning new stuff. Today I am going to test out something that I've been wanting to test out for a while. I'm going to set up and test the GitHub remote MCP server. So what is that? That is basically a way for GitHub Copilot in VS Code, in my case, to talk to my GitHub account. So I can use the GitHub Copilot to list issues, create pull requests, and interact with my data on GitHub. So I'm pretty unprepared here, just going straight into it and see what we can do. So this was released, I believe, in May or something, this functionality. So let's dive into it. So the GitHub MCP server is a model context protocol server provided and maintained by GitHub. MCP allows you to integrate AI capabilities with other tools and services, enhancing your development experience by providing context-aware AI assistance. So basically, as I said in the intro, I'm going to connect GitHub Copilot here. Let's see, F1, open chat in sidebar. And we have to go to agent mode. And we're going to connect this to my GitHub account, basically, via the GitHub remote MCP server. So I can say like list my issues in this repo, for example. So let's see. For more information, see the official MCP documentation. You can access the GitHub MCP server remotely through Visual Studio Code or other editors that support remote MCP. Or you can run it locally in any MCP compatible editor. So I think then you can like download an NPM package and run a local MCP server and connect it to basically anything. But today we're going to try the GitHub hosted MCP server, so we don't have to run anything locally. Allowing you to choose between the convenience of a hosted solution or the customizability of a self-hosted setup. Yes. If you want to utilize the remote GitHub MCP server, you can do that in a few steps without any local setup. This is particularly useful for users who want to quickly leverage GitHub's AI capabilities without the overhead of managing a local MCP server. Running the GitHub MCP server locally requires a bit more setup, but it allows for greater customization and control over your AI interactions. So we might try this in the future. GitHub MCP server can be used to automate and streamline code-related tasks, connect to third-party tools, to leverage GitHub's context and AI capabilities, enable cloud-based workflows that work from any device without local setup. Okay. There's currently broad support for local MCP servers in clients such as VS Code, JetBrains, Xcode, and others. Support for remote MCP servers is growing, with editors like Visual Studio Code, with OAuth and PAT, blah, 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 blah. So it seems like, at least at the time of the writing of this article, VS Code is the only one supporting OAuth, which is nice. I prefer not using a personal access token if possible, so that's good. So prerequisites, GitHub account, I have that, and I have VS Code. So setting up the GitHub MCP server in VS Code. The instructions below guide you through setting up the GitHub MCP server in VS Code. Other MCP compatible editors may have similar steps, but the exact process may vary. Yes. Yeah, we're gonna set it up remotely. Okay, so you can also configure your GitHub MCP server for either a specific repository. This enables you to share MCP servers with anyone who opens a project in VS Code. To do this, create the VS Code mcp.json file and root of the repository. Or your personal instance of VS Code. You will be the only person who have access to configured MCP servers. To do this, add configuration to your settings.json file in VS Code. MCP servers configured this way will be available for all workspaces. All right. So I'm going to do this specific repository setup first. So let's open VS Code and check this out. So we have the VS Code folder, which is excluded from Git. So that is fine for now. And I'm going to create the mcp.json file. Great. The remote GitHub MCP server uses a one-click OAuth authentication by default, but you can also manually configure it to use a PAT for authentication, personal access token. If you use OAuth, the MCP server will have the same access as your personal account. If you use PAT, the MCP server will have access to the scopes granted by the PAT. Okay, so that could be actually a way to, if you want to limit the MCP server to only have access to certain parts of your GitHub account, then that could potentially be okay to use here. Okay, I'm just skipping this. Remote server configuration with OAuth. So this is the section we want. The remote GitHub MCP server is not available to GitHub Enterprise server users. Okay, fine. You do not need to create a PAT or install any additional software to use the remote GitHub MCP server with OAuth. That's super nice. You can set it up directly with VS Code. You can also install individual toolsets, either in read-only mode or with full read-write access, allowing you to tailor the server's capabilities to your specific needs. That is awesome. We're going to test that. For more information, see tool configuration. Okay. In VS Code, open the command palette by pressing Control Shift P. Control Shift P. And type MCP. Add server. Okay. Select HTTP. And then we are going to add this URL. api.githubcopilot.com/mcp. And I have recently started using Mac at work, so I'm currently a little bit flimsy with the copy pasting and other keyboard shortcuts that I've just learned on the Mac. Okay, so we do this and enter a server ID, which we will call like GitHub -mcp, and then choose where you want to save the configuration. Select where we want. We are going to do it in user settings in this case, I guess. Settings.json. Okay, fine. So the MCP server want to authenticate to GitHub, which is awesome. I'm already signed in here, so I can authorize VS Code and not authorize my work organization. And then VS Code would like to have read and write this and this and this and this. It already have quite a bit of access here. So, okay, can I deselect this one? Whoa, what happened? Did it just... Okay. Seems like I cannot deselect this one for some reason. Okay, fine. So I will authorize this, and I will use GitHub mobile authentication here. And I am currently on my phone authorizing this. Approved. And we will open VS Code again. And then we should be set up. So let's follow the steps. In the VS Code pop-up, authorize, click allow to select your personal account from the list. And that should be it. And it says here a restart will... Oh no, okay. I think that's it. I think that's it. And then it's using. That was easy. So basically in my settings.json, so is this one even in use? I don't think so. But where the heck is my settings file? Okay, awesome. Okay, fine. Then that is stored in... That is stored in like a global location. So then it will be actually affecting all my repos. So that is fine. It's not what I said in the beginning, but that is completely fine. So we have this running, 67 tool, 1 prompt. Okay, so list my... I just clicked this 1 prompt and it says list my issues in this repo. Let's just try this without following the tutorial. Okay, it failed. It seems. Okay, all right. So it was actually... this is not my repo. So I'm just gonna stop this and see if it can list all the issues in the current repo. No. This is not what I want. I need a fresh context. Okay, let's follow the guide. I was hoping this would work like this, but... Okay, so open the chat. In the Copilot chat box, select agent to see available actions, select tools icon. So let's have a look at that first. So here we have a GitHub MCP, and here are all the tools that we have. So should be something called like list issues is what we probably want to use here. And do we have something like get current repo or get repos? Maybe. Create repo. Okay, so let's say I wouldn't allow this to create repositories. I could untick this one. Okay, so we have seen the available actions. In the chat box, type a command or question related to the action you want to perform presenter. For example, you can ask MCP server to create a new issues, list pull request, or retrieve repository information. So let's see if we can do this somehow. I'm curious to where it would get the... Yeah, so now it's asking me to run this command to get the repo information. Okay. So now it found the correct repo, and now it can list the issues, and hopefully we'll get a list of all the issues. Okay, this is great. This is nice. So what more can we do? Okay, so that is basically it. Let's try one more tool before ending this video. What can we actually do? Create branch. Do I want to do that? Create issue. Get commit, get details. Okay. Get info from my last 3 commits. Let's just see. I haven't been working on this project for a while. I guess this one don't need the MCP server for this. We just run some local commands, local git commands. So that was not quite useful. Let's see what it does. This was not very efficient. Okay, so the latest commit was file saving from 29th of April. I can list the files modified. The commits show progressive development of a question generation system for critical thinking with improvements in API usage, age support, and file saving capabilities. All commits were made on the same evening, April 29th, as part of what appears to be an iterative development session. Yeah, great, but it didn't actually use the MCP server. Can I actually see here that... Yeah. Here it says it used MCP server, and here it's actually just generating scripts. We need to find something else. What can we do? We can try to create a branch. New branch to work on prompt 7. I'm not sure if it will use the MCP server. Then I would probably need to, like, say, add it or push it to to GitHub. Let's have a look again. Yeah. Let's have a look. Push files. Okay. I think I need to use this a little bit before, like, I think it's mostly... Well, I can see it's useful for like creating pull requests at least and working with issues. So update issue number 5 and add a comment saying this is important and will get started soon. Let's see what happens. Note that MCP servers or malicious conversation content may attempt to misuse code through tools. But we trust this tool, right? So here it creates a body for a REST call, I presume, to GitHub. So run add comment to issue GitHub MCP server, which is fine. Just do a quick review of what it's actually going to do and which MCP server it's actually going to use. It failed. Well, it got cancelled. Okay, let's try to rerun. Did the server actually crash? Try again. So I think if I've been working on a feature for, let's say, an hour, you can use this to add a pretty solid summary to the issue and create a pull request with a good summary and so on. Okay, so it seemed to work now. I've successfully added a comment to issue 5. Yeah, the comment has been posted and is now visible on GitHub issue. Let's see if we are taken directly to it. Yeah, and here is a comment. So that is cool. I will definitely try to use this or keep this MCP server up or the connection to the remote MCP server up for a while and see how much I actually use it. So that's it for this video, and thank you for watching. Hopefully it was useful. Bye.